Up guys, your man NBA fan crazier. So in the previous video I did analyzing the best matchups, the NBA title chase and that web page I just did for the previous video. Go to my NBA fan crazy channel and view the previous video. So in that video I said I would be talking about home court advantages and make a video about it. This is it guys. So here, I'm gonna go to the ESPN web page on an article by NBA insider Dave McMenamin. So I just want to get to it. So here's Dave. He published this article. So now in what games are always gonna be or some all games gonna be held in the ESPN wide world of sports in Orlando, Florida, and the bubble campus. More on that, I'll make a video about that later. So what about this? All now the debate about it is all the teams who have played so well in the regular season, they deserve a shot, they deserve a chance to get a deserving home court advantage. So what is the debate here? Teams who feel like they are deserve to get home court because of how well they played, but other reporters saying they should be glad that they're even here in the first place and not be debating about home court. Well, I'm not in a position of addressing this because as a person who's running a YouTube channel, I don't have a lot of authority over this issue. It is the NBA. So, but still, to get to this article, Dave here has listed some kind of possible home court advantages listed by people inside and outside, inside the NBA and the fan, outside the NBA, the fans. So let's just get to the article. So let's just see what kind of. So traditionally it's been like other teams who've been played in the top deserve a home court because they, for higher seed reward, the reaping is they get home court. So I want to see how Dave has written about what possible home court advantages have been suggested by fans and other people's thinking resort. And I might even tell some home court advantages myself being suggested by fans a little bit of time after this article was written. Let's just get to it. So about this article here, NBA playoff debate, big play tournament questions and bold predictions. I might be doing a video on this article a little bit later because that's one of the more tantalizing articles I want to get into. But let's still. Some teams are just trying to invent a way. Most of these ways in what we'll get into some crazy ideas like a seventh foul to the team, an extra possessions to start the second, third, and fourth, or maybe even ship their hardwood home court here, or maybe even like get dibs in a hotel. Though that's an irrelevant idea. It was suggested by a video when I watched Chris move. He told that I've even been hearing about teams talking about dibs in a hotel. Like fans when they want the teams to get home court, they come up with wild ideas which get someone nerve-wracking jumping off the seat. But when it comes from a position of higher authority, we tend to feel like it might be legitimate because they are little bit closer to the NBA than we are. But they too sometimes like offer some wrong takes, some awfully off takes, like off take, like so deviated from what the topic is. So we as YouTube channels, like what I'm doing right now, are trying to analyze what we can during our own take on this issue. So I just want to scroll down a little bit of articles. Some teams trying to invent a way. This is what I talked about right now. But since the advantage is gone, now teams like, let's say, pick the perfect team who wins at home and loses on the road. Let's say that Heat or the Miami Heat, they have a 14 and 19 record on the road. So they're not the worst road team, but not the best. So in as a Heat fan, I believe they have a very tough schedule. So saying this Heat fan myself, like they they have a very tough schedule. So I just want them to use this as an opportunity to motivate themselves, like how the Heat organization does, like give them added motivation, to give them the added edge. Now that it is gone, you're just coming fresh out. And another thing, as we are talking about home court, some teams rely on it a little bit too much, but on a neutral court, we don't know how they'll perform because we've never been in a situation like this before. So it's rightfully so to pick one team and talk about them. And that is a team who has one of the best record at home, and players like the New York Knicks on the road. Yeah, you guessed it. Philadelphia. The 76ers. Philadelphia has been playing very good. They play like a championship contender in Philadelphia. They play like the New York Knicks, dash on the road. So that's just so simple to come from. The fact is they they play so disengaged on the road. I'm not a I It's not that I hate the 76ers, but for all the team with the most talent, they certainly did. They do have a lot of issues to fix. But the main thing is positive for the Sixers. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who we have criticized so much, have been getting back into shape. And one more thing, in our first things first episode, do you think it helps the 76ers? Kevin Wells said yes, and mostly because most of the starting lineup, uh, Ben Simmons, he went to 7 years Orlando. I'm not so sure what, because I really didn't think about it when I'm coming in here, but Josh Richardson played for the Heat. Al Horford played for the Florida Gators. Tobias Harris played for the Magic. Embiid and Simmons, I think they went to school like that or something. I don't really remember. If you know what it is, please mention it in the comments section down below. So just want to continue down. Provide the home court advantages to give the added teams the advantage for giving them a better record for playing well in the regular season. So here are the advantages that Dave McMenamin here has listed. Here he is taken some time. Let's appreciate him to make this making this article about home court. Let's see what he is listed here. Most of these advantages here we've already known about, so it's not such a big thing. But I just want to give my take on these advantages. Higher seeded team being awarded the first possession of the second, third, and fourth quarters following the traditional jump ball to begin the game. In my sense, actually, I actually don't like this idea for one reason. It could one reason why I do like it is because in the playoffs it comes down to a few possessions, like one or two possession games. Most of it, sometimes a blowout, but most of them do come down to the final few minutes. So in the added possessions there, though they were not as big as what we think they are, because they're not in the final 5 minutes, they could give, those few possessions could give a team and at least like a possible, maybe even like a 9-point cushion more, because let's just say 3 possessions, all 3, the top team hits a 3-pointer, almost 9 points gained from it to the maximum, unless someone draws a foul on a 3-point attempt and makes it, okay? I am not betting on that. But if it happens, hey, added cushion. But what I'm saying is these kind of possessions we might not think about in the final minutes, but it may be a little bit more, provide the upper seeded team a little bit more cushion when it comes down to the final 5 minutes in the clutch. Clutch defined as the final 5 minutes when one team is leading with 5 points or less with 5 minutes left in a game. So anyway, the second advantage, highest seeded team being allowed to designate one player to be able to be whistled for 7 fouls instead of 6 before fouling out. So in the first advantage, why I just before getting to this, in the first advantage, why I don't like it. Some people may think it's in somewhat insignificant because it's like a make or miss in those possessions, but one reason why I do like it is because it could make a difference down the stretch, being giving you a little bit of cushion down the stretch. So it still gives you a few points to hold off the opponent. The second advantage, as I said, this one it's intriguing. Not the best advantage according to many, but it's certainly one which is very essential. You can designate it to maybe your the one guy you like to have on the floor, but who fouls a little bit more. So let's just take the example of a guy who I believe is somewhat prone to foul trouble. I think he, yes, kind of solved it, but I just want to get to it. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren, like, when he got to the NBA in the second season, like, this year he couldn't stay in games. He had to get out of it a little bit because of his foul trouble. So though the Grizzlies might not make it past the play-in, it's certainly something to think about. If they do make it past the play-in, you would want to give it to someone who falls a little bit more, who you want in the floor. So an added foul might not make a bit of difference, but if it might make one of the huge differences for someone who who commits fouls a little bit more. Okay, so higher seeded team receiving an extra coach as a coach challenge. I'm not so sure what to think about this one. Um, so whenever you can use coach's challenge, like when the call has been on the floor, so you can't use a challenge in the call when there's no call. So this does scream negative, but one reason why it is positive on my side tells the fact is you can't, when those decisions occur against you, when there's a chance that it's not a foul against you, you can't oppose it. There's only a possible review, even that's and challengeable a little bit, but this review might do a little bit of wonders according to me. I like this one, but coach's challenge somewhat shit. Other people scream like, but for one reason and one reason only, it is useful when playoff possessions come to possession, when like a player goes to line, he draws fouls. So if you wanna just put a coach's challenger to get the ball to your possession, maybe a last second, that makes a huge advantage in that stretch. The next thing, the higher seeded teams being able to transport the actual hardwood home court from the arenas to Orlando to try to preserve the feel of the home playing experience. People, I thought about this, I liked it, I still do. One reason I not feel like home, no fans. Fans are part of the reason why it screams home. Maybe they are the biggest reason why it screams home. Like, let's say you going into Boston, you bring a court, the TD Garden parquet court from Boston to Orlando. It doesn't, like, why I'm saying this, because in the players Boston, like, It's a sports city. It thrives of what we believe is a real sports city. Like many people come attend it. It's a true sports city. The real experience in that's like that's so the crowd is so loud, man. I adore it. I really like the Boston crowd, like the noise, them Philadelphia. So much noise. Like they get amped up. The home players, like basically young players, feed off of this experience, feed off of the energy from the crowd. So I do believe it is some semblance to what you believe is your home, but I don't think it's a very big semblance to home court advantage. One, because though you bring your home court, it truly doesn't scream home. Though it is somewhat closer to home, bring actual court, it doesn't really resemble home court like how the crowd does. And that's just my opinion. An off-court feature in which choice on picking which hotel they'll stay in. This one I'm little bit neutral about this one. Like that I don't know why, like it's some kind of advantage. You want something like maybe a little bit more food. I didn't come prepared with this advantage of a specific final one. uh this one I'm kinda neutral about it, because one reason why, what's the advantage in picking the hotel in which you want to stay in? Like, I, my opinion, I'm not gonna go in detail about this one, but maybe I like this one, but I'd rather prefer the other advantages over this particular one here. Well, that's just my opinion. Well, I'm come to near the end of the article. I do not think it's a top priority for them. Man, I get it. Everyone's saying you should be glad you even in Orlando hell period. You ain't gotta care about what home court means to you. Well, it does. Convince the opponent that they played regular season for absolutely nothing. All those wins, all those injuries, they could have just sat it out and maybe play in neutral court. I'm just saying, this is a different situation never been in before, but tell that you won't have home court. I agree, health comes first. I just don't know how players who stop seeded teams play so hard over the course of a um 63 to a possible 67 games till now, react to this, and they have played so hard when they had every chance to give up with injuries. That's just my opinion in it. So none of the potential were raised. Wow, this is just potential suggested by fans that Dave here has published. So I don't know if this will really translate, but I just told all of you guys that I would be analyzing this. When then I in a video that I'm not so sure, I might analyze, like it's like NBA countdown your surprise runs. I'm not so sure about the video title. When I might show you the end of the video. So that's it. So that's about it. This article's almost coming to a close. Like Milwaukee Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer, whose team literally the Bucks have played so hard. Media is just trying to bring them down. As Heat fan, like we defeated them twice, but I'm not so sure that's gonna, like, you gotta also respect the Bucks. We might have beat them, we might beat the Achilles heel with the shooting and everything, but we gotta respect. We can't just bring down the Bucks, man. Literally, according to me, the if I would like it if the Bucks win, man. Like, though they may not, potentially, because everyone's holding the Bucks' second best player being Chris Middleton, who's not in the eyes of many is the possible second best player on a title team in a championship team. Well, that's just disrespectful. I want the Bucks to prove some people wrong, though. I want them to win the title. I feel sorry for the Bucks. I really do. Like, having everyone wanting to side against you, to want you not to not to say that, just for the interest, want someone out of it, want Giannis out of Milwaukee. That's, as a Heat fan, I would like him in Miami. I truly do. I really like Milwaukee. Like, there's no reason why he wouldn't stay there, except if the Bucks themselves show that they can't win. If they do win it, I suggest just stay in Milwaukee. I'm not saying I would like him in Miami, but just for my thing, I would like him if he stays in Milwaukee. Just my opinion. So Buden also told that we actually play the games. I don't care they even give us, which is what everyone's opinion frankly is. Hungry team and mindset, the Bucks, they've been killing it this season, but anyway, have them pick one. Man, you have, if anything, have them pick one, apply it to everyone else, like league approved options, which in the other hand we haven't seen yet till now. Who wants to be choosing lifelines, man? Now allowing higher seed to pick its opponent. Well, that kind idea, according to me, might be good, but will also be flawed if the team who you wanted to pick gets off. You might have to be forced to choose a team that is not the most favorable you looked at in the first, but might be your most favorable when it comes down to your pick. So I'm just saying. Led to upset. See in G League, like whenever you get to choose your opponent, might lead to upset. So I'm all in for this format. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I don't like the format where you have to choose your opponents. It might lead to upsets. No, I don't like that. That's just my opinion. For your opinions, please list it on the comment section down below. So that's just my opinion. So the league is in choice of determining the rules which they have to apply to. But my sense, like, some teams feel like they deserve to give advantages. Some teams just feel glad that they're even here in the first place, because when there's no NBA, there's no home court at all. So you'd be glad that they're here. That's just what some teams' opinions are. Each problems you're trying to fix, you're trying to create other problems. That's also true. So I'm just gonna show you guys the video that I was talking about. So I'm just going to the video on YouTube. I have it in my downloads section though, so I just want to show you guys. So the video I was talking about, who could make a surprise run to the NBA Finals, who could play spoiler, NBA countdown. I downloaded this video for the fact that I like what these guys are talking about. Paul Pierce picking the Toronto Raptors. Yes. So I might come back and analyze this video a little bit later. Only reason I might not do it is because the fact that the main part of the video might take a little bit too long. But that's just to cap it off, guys. So hope y'all are safe. Thanks. See y'all. So and for more videos, more suggestions, please comment down below in the comment sections. So just saying again, see y'all. Hope y'all are safe.